What is going on, everyone? Phil here. Welcome to the Level 1 Podcast. I'm back. Yeah, today's going to be a long show. I know it is. All right, welcome back, everyone. Today is Thursday, and May the 4th be with you. That is right. Today is May 4th, 2023. Today is an exciting day to be back, for sure. We've got so much going on, and the thing is, this always tends to happen. Whenever I am not here, a bunch of things happen. In this case, this week, because of extenuating circumstances, I was not here for 2 straight days, and a bunch of gaming news has happened. A lot of updates have happened. A game is released that we're going to talk about. We've got so much going on. This is going to definitely be a show covering a lot of topics that I know you guys are going to want to hear about. So buckle up. Prepare yourselves for a bumpy ride, but a ride nonetheless. I hope you're all doing well. So I am back, and before we get into anything, any topics of gaming or my schedule or what's going on with anything, I think what we should do is obviously address the elephant in the room and talk about what happened on Tuesday. As you know, I was not here on Tuesday. All right, I had planned to be. It was supposed to be my final consecutive streaming day of the week. Usually I'm here 6 straight days every week. Sometimes there's a week that's a shorter week, and then sometimes there's weeks that are longer weeks. But in this case, it was just a situation where I just could not be here. And first of all, just up front, what I want to tell you guys is, I apologize for that. I do not plan on making a schedule and then backing out of it. You know me. One of the things that I feel I've been the most consistent on in my 15 years of content creation is when I tell you I'm going to be somewhere and do something and make certain content, it's going to happen. And my streaming schedule is kind of sacred to me in that way, that when you know there's going to be this many days I'll be here, you know that. And people tell me they love that. They trust how consistent I am, and that they could depend on that. A lot of people absolutely love the fact that I am one of the most consistent content creators out there, and I'm sorry that I could not live up to that expectation on Tuesday. Sadly though, as you know, I really can't share personal stuff with you guys for good reason. The people who go out of their way to make my life awful on a daily basis would take any personal information that I gave you guys and would ultimately just turn it into something negative and, quite frankly, dangerous. I know they would. They've done it before. They've found a way to weaponize information. Things that probably shouldn't have been public that get made public, and then they just won't let it go. And as you know, every little piece of information that they get that is actually factual, they will spin and turn into the biggest nonsensical, toxic, ridiculous stories, insane conspiracy theories that they repeat so much that people believe they're true. The vast majority of the internet believe things about me right now that are completely untrue, and I really have no defense against it. So, in this particular case, I'm very, very sorry that I couldn't be here Tuesday. I had every intention of being here. You know, things developed over the course of the week. I had already told you guys on Monday that that was not a day to mess with me because already things were going bad behind the scenes. And, you know, a particular individual decided to mess with me anyway, because that really shows, you know, their character. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, I went through with my streaming day on Monday pretty much as normally as I could, even with stuff going on behind the scenes. And it just so turned out that I absolutely could not be here Tuesday, and I'm very sorry for that. All I can really tell you is no, it was certainly not a good time. You'll have people say, "Oh, he had 2 days off." Oh yeah, 2 days off. There was a lot of pain, a lot of misery, a lot of emotions, a lot of bad stuff. It was not a good time. This is not me choosing to have an extra day off this week for good reasons. If anything, the only real, like, positive shining light in all of it is that, you know, my wife is with me. Thank God that when now I'm in tough times and things are going bad, that I have my wife with me, because that means the world. It really does. I'll be honest with you. When bad things happen these days, especially some of this stuff, I don't know if I'd be able to get through it if I was by myself. And that is one of the huge things about me, you know, finding Kat and being married to her and having a good life with her that I'm so grateful for. Because, you know, going through life with someone who really, truly loves you is something that I think a lot of people maybe even take for granted or don't understand. You know, when people make jokes about marriage and stuff, even on my streams, you know, I tell people, no, I'm not going to be doing this or doing that. You know, I cherish my marriage. This is ridiculous. Why would I want to even think about that kind of stuff? And they make jokes about it. It's like, no, you just don't understand because you don't have it. If you had it, maybe you would. All right. But anyway, yeah, it was not a good time at all. You know, and it might not be over, who knows, you know, but that's life. In life, as you get older, things happen and you have to take care of stuff, and you know, you deal with it. And that's just, you know, what I'm facing as I get older. There's going to be more and more things, more challenging things in my life that I'm going to have to handle. And I apologize that I can't share it with you all. Let me just tell you, I would love to tell you what's going on. I really would. I would love right now to just say, hey guys, here's everything that's been going on, and here's what it is. So that way I can clear the air, but I know I can't. I know that doing that, it actually just, it puts myself, it puts my family at risk because of these awful people all over the internet. Keep in mind, 10 years ago, I shared everything with the internet, right? Like literally every part of my life was shared with the internet, and because of that, sorry, spring has sprung and there's going to be allergies going on. But no, like a decade ago, I shared everything. I overshared. Like literally every single piece of stuff that I had in my life, I would share with you guys constantly, right? And it definitely hurt me. It hurt my personal life. It hurt relationships I had. It hurt everything. And that's why I just can't do it anymore. All right? And I apologize for that. You know, today I'm back. Don't worry, I'm back. For as much as I can control this week, I will absolutely be here a 6-day streaming week like I normally intend to do. I'm going to try to be here in full capacity. You know, obviously my mind might be elsewhere sometimes, but I'm going to do my best to be here. And like I told you guys on Monday, when I'm here on streams, I try to do my best to unplug from the real life stresses that are happening in my life and just enjoy the time that I have with you guys. And that's what I'm going to try to do this week. You know, physically, I am exhausted. I'm worn out. My back is messed up with all this stress and a lot of fucking driving and shit that I had to do in the last 2 days. My whole back is messed up. Not my lower back, hopefully, you know, thankfully, but, you know, my upper back. I must have hurt a disc, you know, in my upper back, and now I've got soreness and shooting pain and muscle tenseness all throughout my upper back. If I even, like, move the wrong way, it hurts. So, you know, if you notice that I'm kind of moving weirdly or stiffly, I'm actually going to try to decompress my back right now. Oh, actually, that feels better already. So, yeah, if you notice that I'm moving weird or whatever, that's probably what it is. And, you know, this is something that, you know, it's even hard to sleep when you have back problems. I'm trying to find a position where I can sleep and not hurt my back. And that's just compounding everything else, because that's not what this is. It's just everything else plus this just makes it worse. You know, it sucks, but what can you do? So, again, I'm going to reiterate, all right, what I said on Monday, all right? Please understand, right now is not a great time in my life because of stuff that I can't talk about. This would be a great time if you were just to be here to chill and enjoy gameplay and have a good time with me. That's what it's all about. People who are here to come and try to be nasty and be stupid and trolled, you are here at the absolutely wrong time. This is not a time where I'm going to feel like joking around like stuff like that. And you're going to find yourself permanently removed from my content if you're going to act like that. And I forewarned everyone on Monday. No one listened. These idiots came in from Review Tech stream and basically tried to ruin my content for the day. It didn't work. All right. All it did is a bunch of people got banned. He looked like a fucking clown. And, you know, that it's just, you can definitely tell the difference between certain kinds of people. We'll just say that. So let's continue on positively today. And quite frankly, that's really all I have to say about it. All right. Like, I'm not going to be bringing this up. You know, it sucks that I had to have a day like that, where I couldn't be here with all this awful stuff going on. I'm going to do my best to be here 100%. I don't know if I will be here mentally 100%. I'll do my best, and let's just have a good day together, shall we? This is the best way to take it, or to approach it, I guess I should say. All right. So I said my piece. We're done with that. All right. Now, in regards to today, we got a lot to talk about, because now I wasn't here Tuesday. There's been an update to the Star Wars game that I bought and wanted to play. First of all, today's May the 4th. So May the 4th be with you. Anyone out there who is a Star Wars fan, this is your annual day where everyone has big Star Wars celebrations and the like. And I'm definitely happy to say, oh, you know what I do want to say, because I apologize. Again, I get ahead of myself. I do want to say the following. Thank you to anyone who reached out and basically gave me well wishes in the last couple of days. There was a good amount of people who tweeted me, emailed me, sent me nice messages, wishing me the best. And even though I think I maybe replied to one of them. I mean, I couldn't. I was so busy with not good stuff. I appreciate every single person who reached out to me. I really do. It does mean the world to know that there's people out there that care, because sometimes you feel like maybe there's not, when there's so much negativity about you on the internet constantly. And when I'm doing my best to ignore all the nonsense and just put out positive content for my audience, and you've got people out there who all they want to do is insult you, call you names, be nasty, and essentially just be fucking so toxic, right? For what? Right? Like, what did I ever obviously do to deserve that kind of treatment? Nothing. It's been a running meme on the internet to crap on Phil with no justifiable reason. You can say that I'm a fallible person, I'm imperfect, that's fine, but I really don't believe that the amount of shit that gets thrown at me on a daily basis is equivalent to anything that I've done on the internet that was harmful. All right? So thank you to those of you who did reach out and were positive to me in the last few days. I really do appreciate that. Like I said, it means a lot. And I want to say that before we get to the future, because I don't want people to feel like I'm ungrateful for the positivity that you sent me. Okay? Okay. Now we can move on. So today is May the 4th. And today, we are going to be trying out for a second time Star Wars Jedi Survivor. This is a game that came out on Friday. This is a game that is the sequel to Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order from 2019. And as I started to play it, I actually really liked it, although admittedly there were performance issues. But by the time that I was done with my 5 hours of gameplay on launch day last Friday, the game was becoming completely unplayable. The frame rate was so bad, and the drops were so apparent. Even on the mode that was supposed to be a steady 30 frames, it wasn't. It was still dropping in frame rate. And it became to the point where I'm like, what's the point of continuing on with the game when you know there's going to be very difficult parts, notably the optional parts, right? Like, I'm sure if you just play the main story of Jedi Survivor, it's probably just like playing the main story of any one of these difficult games. It's tough, but it's not that tough. The real meat and challenge of the game is going to come exploring and doing all the content that's in the game that's not on that main road, but maybe off that beaten path. But that's some of the best content, and that's what you want to do when you're trying to get your money's worth out of a video game. You don't want to just rush through the main story. And it was during those times on Friday night's stream that I couldn't play it. It just became unplayable. So I told you guys at that point that I was just going to put the playthrough on hiatus. There was no point in continuing it with the game performing so poorly on the Xbox Series X. And so we did have it on hiatus all week, and then supposedly the game got patched on Tuesday. From what some people are saying, it did improve it. It's not perfect, but it is better. I'm not looking for perfection. I'm just looking for functionality. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just want the game to work. Press the button, the guy dodges, you know, or I can see the attack coming because it did drop 12 frames of animation out of the 25 that are being displayed on screen. So, today, we jump back into the game. We're going to give it a shot. We're going to see how it goes, and I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that they did in fact improve it. Today will essentially be a make or break day. If the game is playing better, then we're going to continue on with the playthrough. It's going to be in the main rotation for the next week and a half. Okay? If the game performs poorly again, I'm done. I mean it. Like, I'm done. I'm just not going to continue on playing a game that doesn't run well. In 2023, there's no point in me wasting my time. There's too many other games. There's too many other options of things that I could be focusing on. And wasting time with one that they decided they did not want to have perform well. So we'll see what happens today. I'm playing it for 3 hours no matter what. We're going to see how it goes and go from there. Fair enough? Okay. Now, tonight on the late stream, 6:45 p.m. Pacific time, we are going to do the stream that was supposed to be Tuesday night stream. It's going to be Final Fantasy V Pixel Remaster. I'm very excited. I've loved this playthrough so far, and you guys who've been showing up for the late night chill streams of this game have made it special. We have fun conversation. We're enjoying nice chill retro vibes. And in fact, guess what I released this morning? Something that I had intended to release all last week and kept forgetting for the personal crap, going on in my life. It's been throwing me for a loop, and I kept forgetting to upload this thing. A new YouTube short of Final Fantasy V Remaster. It's like from 2 weeks ago. I was supposed to upload it all last week, and I just never remembered to do it because of all the stuff going on. So finally, it's live. If you didn't see it yet, those of you who maybe have played Final Fantasy over the years or classic Final Fantasy should get a really good kick out of this YouTube short. I thought it was pretty well done. Okay? So give it a look, and full day of gameplay streaming today. Now, obviously, now that I've been away for many days, as you can see, things like this happen. You know, we were at almost 700 members, back on Sunday. And now over the course of this week, all this stuff going on, and me not being here a whole day, what's going to happen? So today, great opportunity. Maybe you want to renew your membership or support the channel. That would be great. I get the feeling we'll probably have a few more people today just because I'm back, and that's not a normal thing that I wouldn't be here. Thanks to anyone who supports the channel today. Okay? Now, let's continue on with what I plan on doing for the rest of the week. Tomorrow, I'm going to return to Elden Ring, which has been a great playthrough, and at this point now, we're having a ton of fun with this playthrough. We have unlocked all this optional content in the game that's very meaningful. Last time we did Nokrin and a few other optional things. I can't remember exactly what we did. We did a lot of the optional content, which is really cool. Tomorrow, we're going to be continuing on with either Noxtella or Deep Root Depths, one or the other. I mean, we could do either one. It doesn't really matter. They're both challenging, interesting, optional parts of the game that are really fun. So I can't wait to jump into that tomorrow. I mean, I'll be honest with you. The Elden Ring playthrough is one of my favorite things I'm doing right now. I'm actually really enjoying this magic run, mostly because you guys are helping me along with getting the best items and understanding the lore and doing the right NPC quests and everything. I'm having a really great time with this. So tomorrow, more Elden Ring. And then tomorrow night on the late stream, it'll be Oblivion, Shivering Isles DLC continuing. Last time around, we had actually done some of the quests that we had unlocked, and we're going to continue on with those quests and advance the story and go from there and see where the game takes us. Okay? Good stuff. This Saturday is my weekly React day, DSP versus the Internet, over on DSP Reacts. Saturday night will likely be more Final Fantasy V Remake, or Final Fantasy V Pixel Remaster, excuse me. Sunday, we'll probably swing back to a day of Star Wars. Sunday night, I am not streaming because I'm taking that one night a month to do all the private react videos for patrons. Monday and Tuesday we'll alternate. We'll probably do Elden Ring and Star Wars, or you know, whatever you guys want for those 2 days. Mainstreams. Monday night, I was thinking about this all week, and I was like, you know what? I think Monday night will be a good night where we should do a tier maker event on DSP Reacts. It's now been a few weeks since we did one, and I feel like doing a tier maker would be a good idea for variety purposes to break stuff up this week. What would the tier maker be? We need to talk about that. What exactly would you guys like to see me do a tier maker for on Monday night? I'm open to any suggestions. The only thing that's off the table is fighting game related, because remember, later on this month, the long form special event marathon we're doing here on DSP Gaming is a Street Fighter 6 hype event, where I'm going to be doing all kinds of fighting game fun. So I don't want to do anything, you know, fighting game related. But let's think about it. I mean, today's the first day I'm announcing it. So we got today, we got tomorrow, we got Saturday and Sunday to determine what will the tier maker do that I do on Monday night. Okay? So let's think about it. Let's talk about it over the course of the week. And then we'll do a fun interactive tier maker on DSP Reacts on Monday night. And then Tuesday, you know, more gameplay all day. Whether it'll be Oblivion or Final Fantasy V that night, we'll determine. But that's the week. It's going to be today through Tuesday. Okay? The next new game this month is going to be Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. That comes out on the 12th, I believe, a week from Friday or a week from tomorrow. Yes, I will absolutely be playing that. So I hope that you guys will join me if you like Nintendo, you like Zelda, you want to see how I think of this new Zelda. That's the next new one that I'm playing. There are other new games coming out later this month. There's really no reason to jump the gun and start talking about those now because they're in the second half of May. But that's, you know, what we're playing now. So alternation between Star Wars and Elden Ring. Alternation between Final Fantasy V and Oblivion. React stuff squeezed in between there. All right. And then, you know, Zelda coming up. All right. In regards to the special marathon this month, it's going to be a Street Fighter celebration. But the question is, what do we want to call it? Darkside Phil's Street Fighter Celebration? Do we want to think of like Fighting Game Frenzy or Fighting Game Fiesta? We were throwing some names around. I really need to come up with a name in the next few days. Because what I'd like to do is solidify the name of the event, and then we can start promoting it and have maybe promotional things like a logo or art made up for it. Okay? So, let me know what you think for a name for the Street Fighter event. It's going to take place on Sunday, May 21st. It's going to be a variety of content, including me doing hardest difficulty mode challenge runs in the arcade modes of classic Street Fighter, including Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter Alpha, and Street Fighter 3. You guys will pick the characters that I will use during those runs. In addition to that, we're going to be doing at least 2 different tier maker events that are going to be fighting game related. Would it be ranking fighting game franchises, ranking the Street Fighter games, ranking characters in certain fighting games? It could be anything. And I think it's going to be fun to do those. We're going to do probably 2 of them during the course of the day. In addition to that, my wife is going to be making food from the Street Fighter cookbook that we have, which is really cool that we have a Street Fighter cookbook. And we're going to be making at least like 3 different little dishes that I'll be tasting. I'll read you the recipe. I'll read you the lore, because each recipe has a story behind it that's tied to a Street Fighter character. And then we'll test them out and see if any of them are any good or whatever. It should be pretty neat. In addition to, you know, me also kind of ordering a full meal that'll be delivered for Feasting with Phil and all of that. So that's coming up later in the month. I hope that's exciting. And again, let's think. Phil's Fighting Fiesta. See, I don't know. It could be the Darkside Phil's Street Fighter Celebration. I thought that would be a nice name. But if you like Fighting Game Fiesta, Fighting Game Frenzy, you know, something like that has to do with... It's mostly Street Fighter related, but we may have a little bit more fighting games discussed in those tier makers. I'm not sure. But really, the reason I'm doing this event is because, as you know, Street Fighter 6 comes out on June 2nd. Street Fighter 6 is going to be huge here on DSP Gaming because I'm going to be covering both the offline World Tour content and, of course, the main meat of the game, checking out the characters, learning them in training mode, going online and playing with each one. So there's going to be a lot of Street Fighter 6 content here in June. And so I'm trying to hype it up. You know, I'm getting people back into the fighting game groove because, let's be honest, I haven't really covered fighting games extensively in a very long time. So I need to get people back into that mentality. You know, it's going to be a good time, I feel. All right? Cool. All right. So, there you go. Now, all that is great, but what about DSP Reacts, my React channel? Well, this week has been one of the busiest weeks on DSP Reacts ever because I have been uploading all the content of what I did over the weekend. As you know, I pretty much spent the entire weekend on DSP Reacts between my DSP versus the Internet clip show on Saturday, and then the long form react event we did on Sunday, which was the Internet Historian YouTube channel. So every day there's been a clip show uploaded and a big long form hour-long video of the Internet Historian react stuff. And here's what I've seen. People seem to be enjoying it, but it seems like everyone watched the first video, which is the fall of 76, and a lot of people didn't like carry that over to the others. And I don't know if it's just too much in a short period of time, or maybe people just thought that it was one video that I was reacting to and didn't know that there were more. Because if I take a look at the channel, all right, let me take a look here. Hold on, because I'm going to tell you right now. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Hold on. Sorry about that. I'm looking at the wrong darn thing. Okay, here we go. So I hit content. Yeah, so basically, the first video, all right, has done great. 2,000 views in just a few days for the fall of 76. So that means obviously that people really liked that first one. In fact, that one got a lot of comments on it. People were like, yeah, this is really good. We like what you're adding. A lot of people have actually said, we like you reacting to this kind of stuff because you are doing it completely different than most other people. A lot of people just sit around watching every once in a while say something. You're pausing. You're giving tons of added information, your opinions, context. You're adding intelligent discussion to it. That's what I like about reacting. In my opinion, a react is not just watch something live and just talk a little bit over it and then make money. That's ridiculous. That's not even content, in my opinion. If you're going to make something a transformative work, you best be adding a lot to it. And that's what I'm absolutely trying to do with these React projects and this React channel. It's not the same as what these other big YouTubers do where, you know, let's be honest. These big YouTubers with millions and millions of followers and views, if they were taking a shit, people would watch it and fucking comment on it and give them money for it. It's fucking stupid. People are just dumb. Okay? They're mouth-drooling idiots. But in this kind of content that I'm trying to do, I'm trying to make something special. I'm trying to make React content more intelligent than what other people are doing with it. That was the whole idea of this channel, is that I'm going to do it different. I'm going to put effort into it. I'm going to actually work instead of just take a day off to talk over someone else's content, which is what most people do. You know, the people that fucking restream me live and comment over it with zero effort, yeah, and all the mouth droolers that watch that shit, yeah, I'm not like them, okay? So, I am happy that you guys are enjoying, but like, just to give you some perspective, the fall of 76, 2,000 views. People are loving it. Part 1 of the Cost of Concordia. This was the 2-hour react I did because the video was like 50 minutes long. Part 1 is 1,000 views. All right. Part 2, just under 800. Okay. The Engoodening of No Man's Sky, so far, not even 24 hours, has almost 900 views. Maybe the Engoodening of No Man's Sky will do better. I'm actually thinking maybe it will, because maybe what it is that people are enjoying seeing me react to gameplay stuff more than non-gameplay stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm thinking. So, yeah, you know, all I think is, we'll see. Let's play it by ear. Let's see how the week goes. All right, and go from there. All right, and I'm curious. You know, looking at the stats and everything here, I'm curious, quite curious, if that's really what it is. Now, the thing is, I really enjoyed doing that content for you guys. But at the same time, like I told you, what I told you is, I don't know how exactly people are going to take these long-form react events. Sorry, because I was reading stats and I got distracted with some comments. I'll be honest, it didn't go great on Sunday. Like, the live stream didn't even do as well as if I had done 2 normal streams. Meaning, in support. It was funny because people showed up, people engaged, but people didn't necessarily support. Okay? And I was wondering why. And a lot of people were like, well, it's because you just did react the day before. Now you're doing 2 days of reacting. Other people were like, well, we like the long-form react stuff, but maybe you're doing it too often. There's a lot of opinions, all right? So today is the final part of the Engoodening of No Man's Sky. That's going to go live on the channel. And then tomorrow is Friday. So Friday is going to be the Feasting with Phil video, which is me having Indian food, which was a crazy good Indian food feast. That was really fun. And then it's going to be a special vlog where I just talked with the audience for a half an hour about the future of DSP Reacts and the state of it and how it's going right now. Within, what has it been, about 3 months now that the channel's been live. And I talked about a lot of things, about how these different things went with, you know, the different shows, what I think is going well, what I think is not doing so well, and ideas for improvement. And what I really need is feedback on that video. That video is going to go live tomorrow. So I hope that people who are subscribed to and or actively watch all the content on DSP Reacts will share their feedback, because that feedback will be very, very critical to the future of the channel. Like, I need that kind of feedback. All right? And, yeah, if you could, please leave comments on that video when it goes live tomorrow. Let me know. What did you like on the channel? What don't you like on the channel? What could be improved? How could it be improved? Is there new content you want to see on the channel I'm not doing? Is there content on the channel you don't think is working? You know, I'll be honest, some of the content I don't think is working are the reviews, which is hilarious because people ask me to review stuff for years and years. They said, well, you watch shows and review them. And I kept telling people, I'm not a reviewer of anything but video games. I don't review TV. I don't review, you know, movies or anything. The few times I did were like Iron Man 2 and Inception. We're talking movie reviews I did over 10 years ago. People liked them. I never did them again. So now I bring this content back directly because of your requests. And it seems like the only stuff that did well was me reacting to The Last of Us show. And I think that the Joker movie, the Joaquin Phoenix, and the movie The Whale. Outside of that, every other review I've done isn't really getting any traction, nor is anyone really even commenting on them. So because of that, it makes me feel like maybe you don't want that. Okay, outside of that, what else could I do? I can't go to the movies every week to see a new movie. It's not viable. And in fact, those videos don't make money. So do you expect me to go to the movies every week spending, you know, $30, $40 to see a movie to come back and make $2 on the video? No, I'm not going to be doing that. It doesn't make any fucking sense. You know, things that are on demand, like new TV shows and stuff, sure. But the thing is, it's funny. I've been asking you guys for 2 months, what do you want me to watch? Is there anything new? And everyone's like, no. There's nothing new right now that's too hyper interesting. Well, then there's nothing I can really do about that, right? Maybe later this year, I think a new season of The Boys is coming out. Maybe I can watch and review that. If there's something on another on-demand service you want to see, like I said, I'm going to probably get rid of Hulu this month. So if there's something on Netflix or something on Disney Plus or something specifically you know is coming out that you know you're going to want me to see, I'm down for that. But I need that kind of feedback of what is it that you'd like to see me do. Obviously, it's not going to be older stuff. Seems like people don't seem to care about me reviewing older stuff. Even stuff from like the last year hasn't really gotten much or any traction. No one really cares. So that's one of the topics I discussed in that video. I hope you'll watch it tomorrow and give me your feedback. Please leave comments on that video so I know, you know, how to improve that channel. In general, the channel's doing well, and I'm actually really enjoying it. So I hope that you guys will continue to watch the content there. Okay. Okay. So that's what's going on. Schedule-wise, I think this is an exciting week. I'm getting back into the swing of things. Full-time gaming. Continuing on with Star Wars, which hopefully is good. Now, you may have noticed in all the things I just mentioned, there is one thing I have not mentioned. And I'm going to address it now because I don't want people to think that I've just decided to drop it. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about Redfall. All right, Redfall is a game that came out on Tuesday on Game Pass. It is the next or the latest game from Arcane Studios. This is the same studio that made Deathloop, the same studio that made the Dishonored games, the same studio that made Prey, the same studio that has made countless good games. Okay? Redfall is fucking garbage. I can tell you that because my wife played it and I watched her play it. And it was the biggest waste of about 90 minutes that I think the two of us have ever done in our lives. I couldn't fucking believe how bad that game is. So I'm actually glad I didn't waste the whole stream on it on Tuesday, because I probably would have been upset that I wasted your time and my time on that. That game is completely unfinished. You can tell they didn't finish development, but they just sold it anyway. I mean, I can't imagine who's working at these companies looked at that game and said, this game is done. It's not even close to being done. It's got assets in it that literally don't even activate properly or do anything. So here, yesterday, my wife and I finally sat down after a lot of stress, and we had some time, and I said, let's try Redfall, right? Because I didn't get to play it on Tuesday. I said, let's do it together. Let's give it a shot. So she downloads the game, and first of all, they make you make their stupid Bethesda online accounts. Like, wait a minute, but I just want to play it single player. No, you still have to make a Bethesda online account. I don't want to play it online. I just want to play it for myself. You still have to make a Bethesda online account. So step one is a fail. Step one, you should be able to play the game however you want. Don't waste my fucking time if I don't have any intention of playing this game with other people online. Don't make me create an account. But they force you to anyway. The game is a piece of shit right from the get-go. Alright? So you make a worthless account you'll never use. You'll log into it. And immediately you notice the graphics are terrible. The first scene is you see yourself on the ground, and you look at your thumb, and your thumb is all blocky and shit, like it's on a PS2. I was like, what? So she gets up, she starts walking around. We're just looking around in the environment. The textures are all pixelated and fucked up. There's things like posters on the wall that are completely blurry. They never bothered rendering them properly, or they just don't render properly at all. You know, the gameplay is atrociously bad. It's just like, you think, oh, this is the kind of game it's going to be like Dishonored, so you're going to use stealth, and you're going to use takedowns. None of that. The game is literally just run and shoot everything. There's nothing to it. Like, run and just shoot everything, blow it away. And when you have the ability to, if you're fighting a special vampire, you impale it with a stake to kill it after you've shot it enough that it's weakened. That's literally it. Oh my god. So, you start walking around this open world environment. It's completely empty. Like, the streets are completely empty, and their justification, oh, the vampires took over. So where the fuck are they? There's nothing there. It's literally an empty city you're walking through. The streets are completely empty. And then it's hilarious. So, our first encounter, when do you hear this? She's in the open world, alright? And she had just started walking around the open world. And we see what appears to be a vampire. We can't tell. He's standing in front of a house in the air. He's got 3 what appear to be force field shields rotating around his body. They're like neon blue. And he's just standing there in the air floating. He's not moving. He's not making any noise. He's just standing up there floating. And we're looking up there like, the fuck is that? And we're wondering, is it a glitch? Is it not supposed to be there? You know what I mean? Like, is that even an enemy? Because we haven't encountered any of the enemies yet. We don't know what it is. So we're just kind of like staring at it, like, what the fuck? So she walks by the house, and as she walks by the house, the game disappears that thing, and he appears in front of her with like an animation. So what was supposed to happen was that asset, that enemy was supposed to be off screen somewhere, and was supposed to scripted jump in front of you and attack you as you walk down the street. But they couldn't even put it in a place that made sense. They put it in front of you, floating in the air, so you don't even know what the fuck you're looking at. And this was all over the city. This wasn't like once. This was like all over the city. There were enemies just floating for no reason, fucked up in a wrong spot. It's like, what the fuck is this? She goes to the first hub in the game, alright? And there's a ton of NPCs. Oh, cool, so you talk to each NPC. Each NPC will probably have a role. You talk to the first NPC, Did I press the button that said, let me try this again. Blech. What? Press it again. What the fuck? That's all the NPC says. It literally has a talk option for a guy to cough and spit at you. The fuck? And it's like half the NPCs are like that. They have nothing programmed into them. It's obviously they intended that these NPCs were going to have a function, and they never bothered finishing programming the function, but they had to get the game out. So you have tons of just non-functional NPCs standing around doing literally nothing. And apparently they all have a bad cold, because they all are making weird bodily function noises. Like, what the hell is this? It's just so fucking bizarre. And then the combat, from what I've seen in the reviews, the reviewers all say, well, if you play this game with a team, it's piss easy. Because apparently the difficulty doesn't change if you play it solo or with a team. It's the same difficulty no matter what. So if you're playing with a team, you literally just walk through the streets, and as the enemies will be floating in front of you and then teleport in front of you. You fight them, you wipe them out in 2 seconds, and you move on to the next area. There's just no challenge to it at all. It's terrible. Well, guess what? My wife was playing in solo. It's the complete opposite experience. Immediately, enemies start mobbing you, and you have no way to stop them. There's nothing to get them off you, so you just die and die and die over and over. It's like, what the fuck is this? You know, the moment you get one of the special vampires, because there's special vampires that have special abilities, the moment one of them shows and does like a grab attack, you're fucked. You have nothing to stop them because everyone else is already beating you up. And by the way, healing is not instant. When you hit healing, it takes a bit to heal. So you can't even heal because you're getting hit by 4 directions and then you're just ganged up on and destroyed. So you either play it single player and the game is a buggy piece of shit unfinished mess that's too hard and not fun, or you play it multiplayer and it's a piece of shit buggy unfinished boring mess that's too easy. There's literally no medium to the game. And by the way, the graphics are terrible. They really are. Like, they're atrociously bad. It runs at 30 frames or less. When the enemies start to gang up on you, the frame rate dips even further, making it literally unplayable. Like, the enemy will teleport in front of you. Oh, okay, you try to shoot him. Now another one's coming out, and all of a sudden the whole screen chops up. You can't see what's going on. Dead. Like, what the fuck was that? How was I supposed to defend myself? I couldn't even see what happened. It was like the game just went blah, 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 dead. So that's the game in a nutshell. It's pathetic. It shouldn't even be a game release. It's obvious the game isn't finished. When you have floating enemies, NPCs with no dialogue, there's nothing here that screams the game was done. I don't know, again, who is working in charge at these studios, whether it's Arcane or Microsoft, because Microsoft owns Arcane. How the fuck are you in charge and let this game be released? I just don't get it. The moment they said, oh, we're releasing it, but it's only 30 frames. We couldn't even get it to run at 60 frames yet. We'll patch it later. Are you seriously not seeing that's a red flag? The game's not done? Like, why would you release it? You have to be insane. And they are. Apparently, I mean, this is a joke because here's why this is a big problem, okay? Right now, Sony is monstrously in the lead for market share. Why? Because the chopper's coming for me. Last console gen, PS4 dominated. Xbox One was way, way, way behind, okay? So, this console gen, even though, arguably, the Series X and the PS5 are almost equivalent in most cases when it comes to performance of the games, most people wanted a PS5 first because they already had a PS4 last gen. That's their go-to console. That's what they trust. That's what they're going to go with. That's what they're going to desire. So you know Sony's going to have that advanced market share. And they have. The last 2-3 years that these consoles have been going head-to-head, PS5 has always been in the lead. All right? Now, Microsoft has tried to counter that 2 ways. Game Pass and buying up a bunch of game studios to be under their umbrella. Game Pass, I feel, is working, at least with awareness and value for the consumer. And I think the people who have the Xbox consoles have Game Pass. I'd be surprised to hear someone bought a Series S or X and they didn't buy Game Pass. Like, they're missing out on value. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'd be kind of silly to not have Game Pass and have one of those consoles. So that's great. But the other thing that's now the problem is we're starting to get the first slew of games coming out from these Xbox-owned studios. This was supposed to be like the first of many games coming out since Microsoft bought up everyone. And this is the first one, and it's terrible. All right? So now, on one of the game news things we're going to talk about today is that Microsoft is about to have a big event coming up in June. It's going to be what would have been their E3 event, but there's no E3 anymore. And it's going to be all Microsoft exclusive games and a big Starfield expose. We'll talk about that in a few minutes when I get to game news. We'll talk about the specifics of that, okay? But basically, from what I'm seeing here, all right, we really need to get, how can I say? We really need to get some buy-in and some good faith towards Microsoft. Having Redfall come out like this week literally did the opposite. It said, listen, we know we're behind. We bought up all these studios. Here's our first offering. It's a piece of dog shit, right? So this is not good. What they need to do now is start pumping out information about games that will be polished, will be fun, and will be worth playing. Because I'm going to be honest with you. When you take a look at Starfield, what we saw last year was not promising. What I saw of Starfield last year was we already took existing assets we have from games like Fallout, and we slapped them together with assets from No Man's Sky, which isn't even our game, but we just copied all the ideas from that fucking game, and we made a hybrid game that's basically 2 games in 1. That doesn't mean it's a good game. It just means you copied someone else. And by the way, No Man's Sky is not a great game. It's a functional game, and it's added a lot of content over the years. But when it took 6 fucking years for it to deliver on its promise, that's a problem, right? So now if all you're going to do is take No Man's Sky and add Fallout elements to it, that's not a great game. That's something we've already played before. If you're going to make a new IP, we want something that literally is new. Give us something fresh, something interesting, something unique we have not done already. We're not just looking for a hybrid experience of 2 things taped together. We're looking for a unique game. Starfield doesn't look like that at all, okay? So, I guess what we need to do is hope. Hope that Microsoft is actually going to make great first-party games that are going to get people to buy the console, that they're not going to be these inferior experiences like Redfall seems to be, and hopefully Starfield will be good. I'm very worried now. I'll be honest with you guys. I legit am worried because I feel that if Starfield is bad, that could be it. Like, people are not going to trust Microsoft anymore. If you want the value console, you get an Xbox. But if you want the good exclusives, you get the Sony PlayStation. And that's bad. That's really bad. They should each be in direct competition. Not one is the discount value console and one is the high-end console. You know what I'm saying? So, I guess we're going to see. But anyway, Redfall, wow. I am happy I did not play it on Tuesday. I know it would have been the biggest joke of a stream. It would have been a waste of everyone's time. Yours, mine. That game is completely a joke of a release. I can't. If they had released that and said, this is a early release advanced preview, I would have been like, okay. Right? Like if that was, remember the other game, We Happy Few? Remember when they had their early release preview? If that's like the equivalent of what Redfall is right now. Remember how unfinished that game was? That's pretty much what this is. And it's like, then maybe you could accept it. Not tell me this is actually a full-fledged game. There's no fucking way it is. You're out of your minds. Anyway, so there you have it. So no, am I playing Redfall? Fuck no. I'm not wasting time on it. I have other games to play that hopefully are going to be much better. Right? What a stupid waste. So, yeah, no Redfall from me. Don't expect it. You're not getting any content of it. It's a piece of dog shit. It's a waste of everyone's time. Wow, what a joke. Okay. Let's do game news. All right, because we have a lot of news stuff to talk about that has happened in the last few days. So let's see what I want to cover first. Big rumors that PS5 Pro is coming. I find this really stupid because I don't think it's going to be PS5 Pro. You want my opinion? I think it's going to be a streamlined PS5 that basically the rumor that it was previously was that it's not PS5 Pro. It's a streamlined PS5 that's smaller, that if you want a disk drive, you buy the disk drive separately for it, but it's one model, so now they can mass produce just the one model rather than having to produce 2 different models, the digital and the disc version. It makes it easier for them, especially with hardware shortages, which is what I think they learned their lesson from COVID, that, oh my God, if there's hardware shortages, we're fucked if we're making 2 different models. So I think this is what it's going to end up being. It's going to be a slimline PS5. I don't believe it's going to be any more powerful. I think that would be stupid. I don't see the point. People are not utilizing the power of the PS5 as is. Why do you need an even more powerful machine? But the rumor is PS5 Pro's in development. Dev kits are going to go out to first-party studios in the next couple of months. Third party will receive it by the end of 2023. They're estimated to launch early next year. I think that's bullshit. I think what it is the games media not doing full research and overhyping something that's not true. I do feel there will be another model of PS5, but it's going to be a slim. That's my feeling. I mean, if I'm to think about the market, I don't think anyone wants to drop $600 on a PS5 Pro when the PS5 isn't being utilized to run games well. You know what I mean? But I could be wrong. That's just what I think. Another rumor. Assassin's Creed Mirage. If you don't know what this is the mainline Assassin's Creed game that's supposed to play more like classic Assassin's Creed. You know, ignoring the last 3 games of Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla that were played more like Witcher and open world experiences. This game's supposed to be a more streamlined, maybe 20-hour core Assassin's Creed experience similar to the original games. So the rumor is this game is now coming in August. This is according to a GameStop employee who saw the game now listed in their system for an August release. Seems like GameStop leaked it. They weren't supposed to have that in their system yet, but someone loaded it early, and it showed up, and the employees have seen it, and they're starting to say, yeah, it's listed that it's coming out in August. So the thing is, they haven't done a showcase for it yet. They haven't really even talked much about it yet. But we've got the big events, Summer Game Fest and all that coming up within a month. So chances are, if there was going to be information about it, it's going to be very soon. So it makes sense that this might be coming shortly. Okay, I guess we'll find out. We're gonna see soon, but that's exciting. I would play a full-fledged 20-hour classic Assassin's Creed game in the summer too. If anything, if it comes out in August, my God, yes please, let's have a flip of attitude. Let's have game devs and game developers and game publishers stop saying, oh, games can't come out in the summer. Yes, they can. And games have been successes in the summer. Look at a game like Ghost of Tsushima. The problem is these marketing-focused people have their heads up their butts. And they just focus on the holiday season so much, they keep releasing games during the holiday season and cannibalizing each other and hurting their own game sales. If they would spread their fucking games out, they would sell more. It's just hilarious because the data they use to say, oh, games don't sell during the summer, is they look at game sales during the summer. Oh, see, they're low. There's no games that came out during the summer. How can you have game sales statistics when no games come out in the summer? Though games that did come out, like Ghost of Tsushima, sold crazy good. So what the fuck are you talking about? The data doesn't back up what they say. They're just idiots. So it would be great to have a great game like that in the summer. I think there's a few others that possibly are coming out this summer too. So we may have actually a good summer for games, which would be great. I already talked about it, but now let's confirm it. June 11th, Sunday, all right, is the Xbox Games Showcase. It starts at 10 a.m. Pacific time. No information on the length of the show yet, but judging by previous shows that were E3 style shows from Xbox, I would guess an hour to an hour and a half. Very rarely have they ever gone 2 hours, but probably about 90 minutes, I would think. But then the weird thing about this is, directly after that ends is the Starfield Direct, where what they're doing is they're saving Starfield. They're not going to talk about it in the Xbox Game Showcase. They're going to have a show just for Starfield there. So essentially, I would think this would be like a 2-hour block where it's going to be Xbox stuff and then Starfield. This is the big chance for Xbox to shine. Okay, so let's hope that that's the case and that it does well. And I hope that we get good information. It's not bullshit. I really hope so. Or I guess we're going to find out. So that is, June 11th. Put it on your calendars. I'll have it on my calendar. Yes, obviously that is something that I'm interested in, either live reacting to, or rather than the live reacts that don't do very well, watch live with you guys, take notes, and then immediately do a recap reaction show after the fact. Since you guys seem to like my recap reactions way better than just the live reacting, right? Maybe that's what we'll do. Because the thing is, when I'm live reacting, no one really cares anyway. I'm just being honest. Like, I did live reacts last year. The one I did do recently was the Street Fighter one. That one did all right, I would say. So let's think about it. How would you like me to react? Do you want me to do the live react, or do you want me to do the recap reactions? Because I'm not going to do both. It's got to be one or the other. Do you want me to watch it just and talk and chat with you guys while we watch it together, and then I do my own kind of recap and commentary on it? Or would you rather see me do the live? Think about it, and we'll go from there. Okay? Cool. So that's coming up on June 11th. You guys may not be aware, but there's currently a writer's strike going on. This is not good. If you're not aware, this happens every 10 to 15 years. All the writers in Hollywood feel like they're being mistreated in some way, and they go on strike. Now, the last time this happened was the late 2000s. I distinctly remember when it happened because there were shows that I was watching on TV. Remember that show called Heroes that was supposed to be like a live-action comic book? So the show started off super strong. It was really good. The whole first season, I loved it. And then right in the middle of season 2, the writers went on strike. And when the show came back, it was the worst written show ever. Entire characters were erased from the show for no reason or killed off, forgotten about. And the show went right off a cliff. The plot got horrible, and it got canceled within, I think, 4 seasons. And none of them were good after season 1. Like, literally, the first season was the only good one. What happens with writer strikes is you either have scabs coming in to write, and they're filler writers that aren't good, or the shows get put on hiatus for so long, now you have to rush to get the shows out once the writers are back in their jobs, and everything gets ruined. So, why is there a writer's strike right now in Hollywood? It's a very interesting topic, because it's one that actually kind of pertains to everything we've been talking about. It's about live streaming. It's about all these on-demand services, the Netflix shows, the Disney Plus shows, the HBO Max shows, the Hulu shows, the Amazon Video show, all those shows, all right? And basically, they're now, all those, that content is now being live streamed, right? It's not just, oh, you go to the movies or you watch it on TV. It's now all live streamed. So what the writers are finding now is all the contracts they're signing are old school contracts, meaning, hey, if the show gets this amount of views, you get paid this much, or if it gets syndicated, you get paid this much, or if it makes this much box office, you get paid this much. The problem is the shows, a lot of these shows, are making the vast majority of their viewership or money on demand on these services, but the contracts aren't reflective of that. So imagine you're a writer and you write a show that blows up in popularity, or you write a movie that does really well on demand, but because your contract was based on box office and things about like television, you make almost no money on it. You wrote one of the most popular shows there's out there and you're not making any money. What the fuck is that? So the writers essentially are feeling that Hollywood is trying to scam them. That basically we're in a situation here where Hollywood has evolved. Hollywood has changed to be all on-demand based. But the contracts have not, and it's all intentional. Screw over the people who actually have the talent so that the bigwigs of Hollywood can rake in all the profits. Okay? So, it's funny because there's actually a lot of Hollywood talent who are on the side of the writers. They're like, nah, we actually are looking at this too, because some of them are getting screwed over too. And they're like, this is not right. This is Hollywood. You know, technology is evolving, and Hollywood is not changing the pay structure so that everyone's getting fair treatment. So right now, apparently, all the late night talk shows are now on hiatus. Anything that has writers like that, frozen. A lot of the narrative-based shows that were in development, frozen. And we may have a situation where we have an extended period of time with no actual new shows that weren't already done and in post-production, because the writers aren't writing anymore until they get better negotiations with these Hollywood, essentially, to get paid properly for their work. If this is the case, then that makes sense. If this is really what's happening, you know, all you can do is look from an outsider's perspective. I'm not a writer. I'm not involved with the situation. This is the information I've gotten through a little bit of research. Seems to me like, you know, this is the situation that they do deserve to be paid for their work. Imagine if you just weren't getting paid for your work, right? I mean, that's ridiculous. So, I guess we'll see what happens. The last time that a writer's strike happened was around 15 years ago, and it lasted a good amount. A good long time. And that's what I said. Certain shows were just literally ruined. And by the time they came back, there was no point in continuing, but they tried and they all failed. So, I'm wondering, will you see, like, what are the most popular shows right now? Just think about some of the ones you may be watching. They're new and you're watching new episodes. Imagine if it goes on hiatus for 6 to 8 months, comes back, and the show's completely different and sucks. That could happen. It happened 15 years ago. I distinctly remember it happening. So, there you go. We'll follow this story. I'm interested to see what's going to happen with this story and how long it's going to last, you know. Now, the last thing I would like to talk about is, now that we are about a month away from the release of Street Fighter 6, finally, Capcom is basically doing a lot of information and basically disseminating a lot of information. They're doing these exclusive press events for people to come in and play the game. And a lot of information is now being shown on the internet about the game. And some interesting stuff. For example, okay, there's no more multi-button press moves in the game at all. Do you understand what I'm saying? Probably not. If you're not a competitive Street Fighter player, you probably don't get it. I'll give you an example. Characters such as E Honda, Blanca, Chun-Li, okay, to name a few, have always had moves where if you press a button a certain amount of times, it activates a special move. The 100-hand slap is what? I think it's 4 button inputs with Honda, 4 punches. You like piano the buttons and then you get it. Blanca, his electricity. Chun-Li, her lightning legs, okay? These moves exist in the game, but they've now made them motion moves. They're all motion moves, okay? Now, some people are speculating, well, that's good because sometimes you can have inconsistency with multi-button tap moves. I think competitive players would beg to differ and say, no, actually, that's not the case. If you're good and you're competitive, you know what I'm saying? You're going to be able to do the moves. Some people are speculating it was an accessibility deal where they wanted to make the game fully accessible, and if you have these moves be multiple button taps, they're not going to come out. But then again, I believe that's bullshit too. Why? Because people who need accessibility are just going to do the one-button special moves anyway. They're not going to care about doing a motion. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's a little weird. Here's why. Because you might say, well, what's the big deal? Who cares if you multi-tap or if you do a motion? Like, for example, Honda's 100-hand slap is now down, down, back, back, and punch. So it's like a backwards fireball motion plus punch, and he does a 100-hand slap. So who cares if you do that or if you do the button taps? Well, here's why some people are speculating this might be an issue that the devs didn't think. When you're doing the multi-button taps, since it's all a button input to do the special move, you are free to use your joystick in any way you want. So to give you an example, let's say you're E Honda and you do a 100-hand slap. As you're doing the 100-hand slap, you could be charging down back. Now, when the 100-hand slap ends, if the enemy moves and tries to like respond to it, you could either do a sumo headbutt immediately or you could do the butt splash immediately. Because you'll have that capability, you have the charge. If you had to go down, down, back, back, and press punch to do the 100-hand slap, you're not charging for one of those moves. You are charging for the headbutt, but you're not charging for the butt splash. So you used to have an option of what you could do after a 100-hand, and the option's been removed. Now all you can do is the headbutt. So a lot of people are saying, you might be removing options for these style of characters. That's true. And I guess, essentially, we won't know till the game comes out and people start playing it competitively. You're not really going to understand the difference. Another thing is, there's 2 control schemes in Street Fighter 6. There's Modern and there's Classic. Now, apparently, from what I'm to understand, you can still do inputs in Modern mode and the moves will still come out. But Modern mode is the mode where certain things have shortcuts to it. So if you play in Modern mode, basically you're going to get easier moves out and stuff. And what people are saying is the damage output is the same. So if you can do moves more easily and you get the same damage output, what's going to be the incentive for people to play on Classic mode in any kind of a competitive level unless tournaments outlaw it? Which, again, no one's sure yet what's going to happen in widespread tournaments. What if the game is now dumbed down to just doing button pushes and directional pushes rather than any kind of synchronized inputs for special moves, right? There's a debate about this right now. And I'm wondering what's going to happen when the game comes out and you start seeing tournaments. And, I don't know. Like, it does seem like it could be a concern. Like, I understand the accessibility. I get that. But accessibility is fine. But not if it completely changes the face of the game and makes it easy mode for everyone. Now, where is the level of skill and execution required to play your game? Essentially, you don't want Street Fighter to turn into Smash Brothers. Sounds like that's what they might be going for, right? Now, again, for me, do I care? No, I don't. Because I'm not going to be playing this game in tournaments. I don't give a shit. So if they ruin their fucking competitive scene, I mean, that's on them, I guess. They're going to ruin competitive Street Fighter, go for it. Just for the sake of having, 5 times the players or whatever. But, for me, I kind of see it as, I don't know how that's going to work. I guess we'll have to find out. And go from there. Now, another thing is that on the positive side of things, people are noticing a lot of really nice positive touches when it comes to Street Fighter 6. For example, Zangief, for no good reason, has like 5 or 6 different normal throws. And he hasn't really had this since classic Street Fighter 2. In original Street Fighter 2, Zangief has like 1 or 2 throws per button. So he can throw you with medium punch, medium kick, heavy kick. Then he has directional throws as well. If you like hold down forward and press a button, it's different than if you just hold forward. He has like, you know, I would say 7, 8 normal throws in Street Fighter 2 over the years. Plus, of course, he has his command throws like spinning pile driver and stuff. Now, why'd they do that? Because they wanted variety. He's a grappler. They want him to look like he's more authentic, like he's a real pro wrestler style fighter. It makes sense that a Greco-Roman wrestler should have a bunch of throws in his repertoire. But what's happened is, in recent Street Fighter iterations, they just removed all of that. Oh, he has 1 normal throw. That's it. So now in Street Fighter 6, it's like they went back to the old school level of appreciation and detail. Zangief now has, like, again, like 5, 6 different standard command throws. Depending on direction, when you're pressing the buttons, it changes the properties of the throw. And, of course, this could also be good because it could help for things like positioning on the screen. Like, let's say in one situation, you have a character, you want to get him away. You could toss him further. In one situation, you want to get a character into the corner and grounded, so you do a throw that does that. And if he has these options, it's going to let him control better after he gets a throw. So hopefully, you know, these throws have use, and it'll be kind of neat. I think that's actually a neat feature, rather than just every character only having the 1 or 2 generic throw animations, and that's it. Zangief getting those back is neat. So it's kind of interesting because you're hearing all this stuff now that we're only a month out, right, from Street Fighter 6, that is. Now we're hearing all of this very interesting stuff about the game that could be good or bad. And again, this is what's going to happen as we get closer to its release, impending release. You're going to have more and more information come out that's going to either be good or bad. Like, for example, one of the big pieces of speculation right now, everyone's wondering, who is this new character, JP? Seems like he's an older gentleman with a long white beard and a cane, and it seems like he has control of the psycho power that M. Bison used to use. It's psycho power. Like, if you look at it, it has the same kind of dark purplish animation that all of M. Bison's powers used to have. But in the lore of Street Fighter V, M. Bison was destroyed. He's dead. Ryu beat him at the end of the game. Both him and his soul and everything have been destroyed. So who is JP then? And it's funny because everyone's speculating maybe he's someone else who knew Bison, or maybe he's the mentor of Bison. Maybe he's someone else from Shadaloo, you know, that used to be the organization that Bison ran, and he's a survivor of Shadaloo, but who knows? Well, now there's a win quote, because now they're putting out all this information about the game, and there's been a win quote from JP, and he's talking to Cammy, and the win quote says something to the effect of, Shadaloo is no more, my little doll. Wait, what? My little doll? So for those who don't know, M. Bison, when he was in control of Shadaloo, would brainwash assassins from all over the world and have them work for him. And he had a group called the Killer Bees, also known as the Dolls. And they were essentially killer assassins, you know, women, femme fatales. And Cammy was one of them. At one point, she was brainwashed by Bison to do his bidding. And so, if he's talking to her and he's calling her my little doll, does that not mean that that's Bison? So is JP M. Bison? And he's jumped bodies again, but it showed at the end of Street Fighter V he didn't, he died. That doesn't make sense. And a lot of people are speculating maybe he was also in control of Shadaloo along with Bison, even though it's weird that he's never been fucking mentioned before. I don't know. So it's kind of interesting. The lore now is starting to go out there, and people are trying to figure out the lore of Street Fighter 6. And that's a neat thing. I think this game is going to be pretty hot when it comes out. I'm feeling it. I'm feeling like the table is being set at this point. Games have now advanced to the point where people are super white-hot excited for this one. I am too. I hope it's good. I hope we're going to have a lot of fun with it. All right? We got about a month to go. The hype has begun. Street Fighter 6 is almost here. Okay? All right. That pretty much covers everything I had to talk about on the show today. What I will say is thank you guys again for being patient on Tuesday. Thank you for understanding. Thanks to everyone again who reached out and were very nice to me. I really needed that. I am going to likely still be kind of in that messed up mindset. I'm going to do my best to, you know, be here for you guys and make content and forget about the crap in my real life and just have a good time on stream. That's what this is all about, okay? Today, You know, it's a normal streaming day. It'd be great if you could support the streams. As you see, sadly, we lost a ton of members this week, likely because there were probably member bombs at the end of March that expired at the end of April. And of course, the fact that I wasn't here the other day, so a lot of people didn't renew their memberships that had lapsed. It would be great if we could get some re-upped memberships or maybe some gifted memberships to the community today. As you can see, we have a lot of people on stream. Outside of that, any kind of support today is obviously greatly appreciated, whether it be on the YouTube side with super chats, super stickers, memberships, gifted memberships, whether it be on the tip side with tips and getting our tips rewards out there, whatever it may be. You know, thank you guys in advance for any kind of support. You know, right now we're already at 94 likes, which is stupendous. We've already almost hit our likes goal. Thank you for that. And now, without further ado, let us get to our shout-outs segment. We start off today with Screeching Cantus, who re-upped their membership for 7 months. It says, re-up 7, sweet. Thank you, Screeching Cantus, for 7 months of support. Soul Potato 7, re-up for 11 months. Thank you, Soul Potato, for almost a year of support. And then SMR Tad 2086 re-upped their membership for 17 months and says the following. To show you how bad the writer's strike is, that movie Transformers 2, where there were racist twin robots, that was the result of the first writer's strike. And essentially, I guess those were probably like the scab writers, the fill-ins coming in to finish the movie. Yeah, that movie, that was, what was it, Transformers 2? I saw that movie and I literally decided I would never see another Transformers movie after, and I haven't. I'm serious. It was so atrociously bad that I was like, there is no way I would ever spend another moment of my life watching these movies. And I never did. That was it for me. I tapped out. I was like, that was so bad. I couldn't watch another one. And there's been tons more, and I'm just, I can't waste my life. Sorry. Thank you, SMR Tad. Okay. So, let's see here. Tips-wise, got a couple small tips to shout out for now. Hopefully they're real. Let's find out. All right, our first tip is just a $1 tip with nothing attached. Just an anonymous $1 tip. So thank you to the anonymous $1 tip, or our first tipper of the day. Let's get that up on the leaderboard. Okay. And then we got another $1 tip here. All right, this person says, can you give a shout out to Victor and wow, I have absolutely no idea how to pronounce this name. Shout out to Victor and shout out to Taejasn. I mean, Taejasn. I'm not even going to attempt it. Thank you for the $1 tip. They said, we like watching you. We're looking for robust on-demand streaming fun. Again, I don't know if it's serious or not, but thank you for the $1 tip. Okay. All right, so guys, that is what we got for shout-outs so far. So if anyone wants to talk for a little bit, we have some time to kill, a little bit of time to kill here at the end of the show. If anyone would like to tag me and ask some questions, may the 4 be with you, Jay. May the 4th be with you. Excuse me. Carliga says, if you haven't seen the Phil Spencer, please take half an hour to watch it. It's the best industry insider review of Microsoft. You can watch it during DSP Reacts. I can nominate it. I would do that then. Red Gamer says, I doubt gameplay changes will ruin the competitive scene of Street Fighter 6. Those who want the prize money will learn and adapt to the changes. But here's the point that we're making, okay? Street Fighter has always been a very competitive game that needed at least a modicum of competitive skill when it comes to inputs and timing and things like that. Now, we have seen a watering down of Street Fighter controls ever since Street Fighter 4. In Street Fighter 4, you can literally double tap a corner, press punch, and get a Shoryuken. A lot of people had issue with that. Some people didn't. You know, it's all like, what's the barrier to entry? Is it a barrier to entry, or is it that the game should actually have a challenge to it, right? If literally the game now plays like Smash Brothers, right? You're dumbing the game down to a level where there's no execution input difficulty at all. You made it more about just timing and spacing and usage, right? But should there be a level of input challenge? There always has been in Street Fighter and Tekken and Mortal Kombat. There always has been. Are you saying we don't want that anymore? We're eliminating that entire level of challenge. We don't want any moves you do in the game to be challenging whatsoever. They're all just easy mode, can come out whenever you want. It's just going to be timing and usage now. It's essentially, when you think about it, in a fighting game, there's 3 levels of challenge: timing, usage, input, / execution. Well, you don't need that one anymore. Right? So, okay, but I mean, now you're changing the whole nature of your game. Is that what people want? Or do people... I always loved having a level of input execution challenge. I did. It wasn't just about timing or, you know, when to use. It's about actually having the skill level to pull off that difficult combo or that reversal on the fly or whatever it may be. And now if you're saying you can just tap any button in any kind of move, imagine at any moment, tap a button, oh, level 3 super comes out, you win the match instantly. I didn't have to react. Just, oh, I saw a move. Win. The win button. I don't know about that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I mean, again, I don't want to say I'm against it. I don't want to say I'm for it, because I'm kind of somewhere in the middle. Like, I can understand where the benefit comes from, but is that going to dumb the game down to the point where now the competitive edge is lost? I think what they're trying to do is sell this game to the most people possible. And they feel that if they make the controls as lax as possible, the most people will buy it. They're going back to their mentality from Street Fighter 4. That's why they did that in Street Fighter 4 as well. So I guess we're going to find out. I don't know. Okay. I received a 10-member bomb from SMR Tad. Thank you so much, SMR Tad, for supporting the channel. So congratulations to Blastoise91, John Smith, Original Recipe, Madara is God, Chrome Abyss, Beaver Bother, Vladimir Suckmeov, what a great name, totally real, Will Said, Austin Espion, and Wiley Wolf. Congratulations to all of you on getting a gifted membership. Thank you so much, SMR Tad, for the 10-member bomb for the community. I'm sure they're going to appreciate that very, very much. And being that we kind of hit our conservative goal for members today early on, I will just say, hey, let's extend that to 6:30. Let's see if we can get some more progress today. Again, thank you. That was great. That is some excellent support of the channel. That helps us get back on track. To, you know, we had 700, and then over the last week we lost a bunch, so maybe we can get back on track now. Thank you for that. Okay. I have received a $2 tip. Let's see here. This is a fake contribution. It is from a troll. A troll who's a complete idiot. Because they actually are trying to impersonate someone else. They're a complete moron. They think I'm stupid. And they're really the one that's stupid. Because I'm not dumb. So thanks for nothing. You wasted your own time. You're a failure in life. Congratulations. Alright, let's see what else people want to talk about. Red Gamer says, to be fair, now that fighting games have gotten more attention and they have a chance to grow and have big sales numbers, close to major AAA games, it makes sense that they dumb things down. Here's the thing, though, alright? I don't mind them dumbing things down. What I might mind is them actually allowing the dumbed down stuff in high-end competitive play. Do you see? I don't care if Street Fighter 6 appeals to the masses. I'd love for it to appeal to the masses. I would like nothing more than if someone who has no intentions of playing this game competitively can buy this game and get 20, 30, 40 hours of content out of it and say, wow, that was a great game and a great value. World Tour mode was outstanding. I casually played online in the non-competitive, non-ranked mode, and I had a great time using all the input shortcuts, right? But when it comes to the competitive play, if you're removing one of the levels of challenge and skill required to do it, does that make sense? I mean, again, this is ultimately in the hands of the game developers and what they feel they want for the future of Street Fighter. I really don't have a stake in it because I'm not really too concerned about being a high-end competitive player, you know? I'm just not. I received a $5 tip from Ham Killer. Ham Killer, is this you? It says Ham Killer. Is this true? Ham Killer, are you here? It's hard to say because now it looks like we have people trying to impersonate other people. Ham Killer, are you here? Can you confirm this is really you? Because I don't think you've ever tipped before. He's not here. So it's definitely not him. See? Well, forget it then. I mean, again, if people are going to be stupid like that and they're going to say, oh, I'm this person, but I'm really not, I'm not going to count it because you know what's going to happen. It's going to end up being a chargeback and I'm not going to matter with it. Hamel Lover says that's not me. All right, then forget it. Not getting counted because you know it's probably getting charged. Stupid idiots. Lekmick, you seem to be behind the times. We talked all about Zelda on Monday. I don't care about Kotaku getting blacklisted. No one cares about Kotaku anyway. Oh, yeah? Moxer says, since Zelda comes out next week, Friday of next week, maybe the tier maker we should do on Monday night is ranking Zelda games. Now, that would be interesting. All right. That would be challenging, I feel. There's a lot to talk about ranking Zelda games. There really is. Do you think we should do that Monday night, ranking Zelda games? I feel like there's going to be a lot of people contentious and arguing with each other on that one. That would be timely, too, because Friday is Tears of the Kingdom. Okay. I think that's likely what we're going to do. Unless someone comes up with a better idea, I think we're going to do that for the tier maker on Monday. I think that's a great idea. Okay. Steely Sam, no, I'm not playing Darkest Dungeon 2. I only played the first one very briefly. Okay. Yeah, so sadly we got this another idiot. It's just so dumb. This person is so dumb they keep tipping and saying they're other people, but I'm not stupid. I'm just gonna ignore them. We have 100 likes. Someone just said we have 100 likes already. You guys are absolutely right. We have 100 likes. You know what, guys? If you don't mind, I think I want to go downstairs and grab a new bottle of bubbles because this one is very low at this point, and we're not really getting enough anymore to do a full bubble blow. So I think I would actually like to go get a brand new bottle of bubbles. Because, by the way, if you guys aren't aware, I've been increasing the frequency of bubble blowing. Not only do we do it for 100 likes, but let's say, for example, we do a stretch goal and we've been hitting members goals and stuff as well. I've been blowing it for that as well, just to be nice. So, all right. Give me a sec. I'm going to mute the mic, run downstairs quick, and just grab more bubbles. I'll be right back. Well, I found him. Took too long. Took way longer than I thought. So, I'm going through this whole closet. I don't see him anywhere. And finally, Kat says, "What are you looking for?" And I said, "I'm looking for more bubbles. I know we have them. We bought a 6-pack when we got, Jasper years ago. And I know we've only gone through 2. And she goes, "Oh, I, reorganized years ago. Those are upstairs in the other closet in a drawer over here." I was like, "Oh, I wish I knew." So I came up here and I got them. So here we go. All right. So it's time for a celebratory bubble blow for 100 likes. Actually, we're up to 127 likes and climbing. Okay. Here we go. Ready? Ah! 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 They're popping in my face. There we go. Oh, now my whole hand is covered in bubbles because this one's full to the top. So when I grab the wand is soaked in the bubble solution. Derek, no, we're not doing 80s and 90s sitcoms for Monday night's Tier Maker stream. That was a really good idea to do the Zelda rankings. I think that's very pertinent of something we can do because Zelda comes out on Friday of next week. So that's what we're going to be doing, I think. Unless someone comes up with a better idea, I think the Zelda idea is really good. Okay. Jade, it's very possible JP could be M. Bison's teacher or mentor. That is correct. We'll have to see. All right, a bunch of tips came in while I was getting bubbles. First of all, Alex re-upped his membership. Said, "Hello, Phil. Thank you, Alex, for becoming a member." Actually, it wasn't a re-upping. It was a full upping. It counts as a new one. So thank you for that. Let's see here. So let's count that as a fresh new membership. Also, Bloomkit did 2 super chats. First one, he said, "Rank Disney and Pixar movies." Then he said, "Get a bubble hat and blow bubbles everywhere." I'm debating getting like a bubble gun or something. I think that'd be kind of neat to just open a bubble gun that's full of bubble solution, and it shoots like a in the room or whatever. Because I could like shoot it this way, they'd like fly with the fan. They'd fly towards the camera or something. I think that'd be pretty cool as long as they're not expensive. You would think they're not expensive, right? I hope not. Okay. All right. And Kagome, re-upped his membership, says, "Keep up the good work." Shout out to 672. All right, Kagome, thank you for that. Let's continue. I received a $5 tip. Oh my God. Now I get it. So they're claiming they're Varda. All right. Now is Varda here? Is Varda actually in the chat today? Because this person did a $5 tip, says, "I'm claiming to be Varda. I want to do a shout out to Ham Killer." But the first tip did not say that. The first tip was like, "Varda Ham Killer." And I was just like, oh, well, is this Ham Killer? Varda says, "I didn't tip either." So it's still not real. All right. So I'm still not counting it because Varda says it's not them either. So obviously this is someone tipping and trying to impersonate other people, so I'm not counting it. You want your tip counted, make a real name and say a real message. Okay. All right. I like to take a shit in the woods. Tipped $3. Says, "Boogie actually appeared on Side Scrollers. He talks about how you didn't want to do the Keemstar thing, and I don't blame you for not wanting to work with Keemstar." No shit. I mean, this is not news. I have told you guys how many times I want nothing to do with that man, right? Right? This is not like rocket science news. Oh my God, breaking news. Is it? Okay, anyway. I got a $5 tip from Steely Sam. He says, "Here's a real tip." All right, well, thank you, Steely Sam. I appreciate that. Steely, that's how you spell it. Our first real $5 tip of the day that probably will not get charged back. Thank you so much, Steely Sam. And let's play a nice animation for you as well. Oh, now my animations page is lagging. That's not good. Let's see if it works. If not, I might have to re-log in or refresh it. Let's see if this plays. I don't know. I'm getting 3 loading bars. It's not looking good. Did it play? It did. It just took forever. Hopefully the next one doesn't take that long, or I might have to refresh. All right. Thank you, Steely Sam, for hopefully the first legit tip of the day. I appreciate that very much. Okay. I got a $1 tip from the troll again, so just ignore the idiot, right? He's a complete moron. And then I got another tip from Edward Spaghettword. Is this real? Edward Spaghettword? You've been in here. Did you tip me? I think we have people who are basically doing fake tips today. So, again, I'm not going to entertain this nonsense. I'm just going to skip them unless people can confirm it's really them or not. He's real in the chat, yeah, but is he tipping? Or is this fake? I didn't tip. All right, it's probably the same person. It's probably the same person trying to impersonate a bunch of other people, so I'm just going to ignore it. Okay. All right, so... Thank you to let's see here. Brosif did a super chat. He says, sending good vibes your way. We're here for you, Phil. Thank you very much, Brosif. I really appreciate that. Let's get that on the leaderboard. Trill1 817 also re-upped their membership for 19 months. Thank you for re-upping your support there, Trill1. Now, the villain in the chat, is it the villain X or just, it's the villain, just the villain, because there's another person who's called the villain X. I always get him confused. Says, I should just be taking off 2 days a week every week. Listen to me, everyone. I would love to do that. I think if I had 2 days off a week every week, it would be great, because I'd have the 1 day a week where I have to get all my errands done, the shopping, the pet supplies, maybe housework stuff, get all that stuff done 1 day, and then I would have a whole other day to spend with my wife that would be meaningful. I can't do that. I have to work 6 days a week to afford everything in my life. I'm behind on things. You understand? This is not a situation where Phil can just take time off. Don't you think if I could take the time off, I would? I mean, wow. Why do you really think I don't want to spend meaningful time with my wife? I've been telling you guys I've been wanting to do stuff with her for years that we haven't gotten to do. You know? I can't do it. If I had more viewership, if I made more, if I was in a better position, I could do a 5-day-a-week work week. I would love that. I can't do that. I'm in a situation where I just can't. Eventually, yes. You know, this week, because I had 1 day off that I wasn't supposed to have, I'm behind. You understand that? I'm behind now. Horrible things happening in my life. I have to take a day off to handle it, and I'm now behind because of it. So it's just like, it just compounds the problems. You understand? So, yeah, I can't do it. I want to and I can't. All right? Pickle Man is ready for his daily question. Okay. What was the last sandwich that you ate? Here's your question. Did I ever play with bubbles as a kid? Said Derek. Yeah, I did. I liked bubbles as a kid. I used to get, you know what? I used to have the giant one. You ever had the giant one? Where you can go, whoa, make a giant bubble? I think I had one of those at one point. I'm pretty sure I did. So, Carliga says he missed the word interview. Phil Spencer's interview from today on the XCast. Phil answers about Xbox Game Pass production issues. It's worth watching. I would say, yeah, if you want to nominate it for DSP versus the Internet, great, do it. I don't know what level member you are. If you're Ultra member, you're guaranteed. At this point, nominating something on Thursday for a Saturday show, there's no way we're going to get to it. Just to forewarn you, you might have to nominate it for next week. Last sandwich was a pastrami from Subway. Oh, no. No. Pastrami is great. I love pastrami. A good pastrami sandwich with some Swiss cheese, some sauerkraut, some mustard, different kinds of mustard, yellow mustard, or even a spicy mustard, or even if you want to do like a Reuben, right? So you have like some Thousand Island on there. Now all that's great, but the moment you said Subway, you failed. You've taken a horrible misdirection. You must rewrite the course. You must stop eating the disgusting Subway. It's really bad. Subway. Yuck. Anyway. No, I've never ridden in a sports car, or what's considered to be a sports car. Closest would be my schoolmate had a Camaro in high school. Yes, his father bought him a fucking Camaro. His father was stupid. And my friend drove it and destroyed the car, driving it too fast. And I rode in that for a while, and it was not a very good experience, to be honest. Those cars are so narrow and low to the ground that if you're, like, taller than 5'6", you end up smashing your head on the ceiling and shit. They're really not that comfy, at least back then in the 90s, so. Okay. All right. I received a $1 tip, but let's see if it's legit or not. Nope. Or is it? Someone named Danny is saying, I've been blocked for 2 months. What do I have to do to be unblocked? You email me at darksidefil@hotmail.com. You explain the situation of why you think you were maybe unfairly blocked. You send me the link to your YouTube channel. I look at it and I determine if I want to unblock you or not. And just to forewarn you, if you're someone who I recognize was trolling and being a dickhead, I'm probably not going to unblock you. Especially these days, I'm not in a very good mood. Okay, guys, we have to end the show. I know that the show ended up being extended for me to go get fresh bubbles, but we have to end the show now and actually try to jump into some gameplay here. All right? All right, fair enough. Pickleman says, where do you recommend for a sandwich shop if not Subway? Literally anywhere else. You go to any of their competitors, whether it be Jimmy John's, Blimpie, Potbelly, Jersey Mike's. You could go to a local deli. Local deli probably better than anything. You go to your local supermarket, which probably has a deli that'll make you fresh sandwiches of high grade materials that are way better than Subway. Literally, you can eat anywhere. Quiznos, you can eat anywhere else and get a sandwich, and it's better than Subway. I couldn't even tell you, like, it would be hard to find a place that's worse than Subway. Okay. All right, guys. Thank you very much for... I told you the podcast would be long. Indeed, it was. I do want to say thank you all for a great show. I didn't even mention the new intro. So the new intro that you saw today on the show is completely new from the ground up. Literally every piece of that show is original, made by a viewer. It cannot be claimed by anyone legally. It literally is nothing copyrighted in there. The green screen stuff is my footage. Everything else was done by this person completely from scratch. All right, so no one's gonna be able to hit this with false copyright bullshit. So that's good. I don't have an outro for you yet. I have to think about what I want to do for an outro. If I even want to do music for an outro, I don't know. We'll have to think about it. All right, but in the meantime, thank you very much for watching the show, and I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you all have a happy spring, and I will see you soon.